Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Last night, the channel reached 10,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. I cannot even put into words how crazy that is to me, that 10,000 different people decided to click that red button because they wanted to see my videos. I mean, it's crazy. That's a lot of people, and I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around it. But honestly, to all of you, to every last one of you, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I could not have made it here without you, and I cannot believe we made it this far. And here's to 10,000 more, and possibly more after that. So, anyway, I decided that for hitting 10,000 subscribers, I should do something special. And I happened to check my game count earlier today, my classic games count in GeoGuessr, and it was at 9,999, which is crazy. And I was like, well, I guess I got to do something special for my 10,000th game. So I decided what I was going to do was I was going to try and do a speed run, because it's not something I've really done much of before. So I decided I was going to try and speed run a Tweaked World, which is that map that's kind of designed for speed running, created by Pastetli, that has a bunch of pinpointable locations that spawn you fairly close to info. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try and get sub 5 minutes on a Tweaked World and get onto the leaderboard. So I did that. As you can see, I now have 10,000 games played, and this happened. I got a 25K in 3 minutes and 3 seconds, which is crazy. It's third all time, ahead of some players who are crazy good speedrunners. I mean, like Rihanna and Bulgur and GC. I mean, these people are legit speedrunners. And I beat all of them. It's totally nuts. I was doing some practice seeds. I was getting some locations where I solved them in like a minute or less. I was getting to like round 3 or 4 in some of the seeds. I was doing okay. But I was never on pace for something this good. And then I just got a game where I got 5 locations and I solved them all in 3 minutes. So I am distraught right now because I didn't record this. And I did mean to record it, but what I was doing was I was clicking recording and I was just leaving it on continuously. And I stopped the recording because one of them was going on for too long. I'd been going for like 40 minutes. I was like, I'm just going to stop this and start it so the file isn't too big. So I stopped it, and then I forgot to start it again. So I jumped into a game, and I got this, and it wasn't on camera, and I'm so annoyed. But I'm going to do my very best right now to recreate the game for you guys. So this is the seed, and like, honestly, I cannot believe this happened. So I'm going to just take you through what happened here. So round 1, I know it's not as good as the live reaction, but I don't have a choice. This is what I'm going to have to do. I'm not going to try and get a better speed run than this because it's not going to happen. So round 1 was Indonesia. I spawned into the location. I know it's Indonesia immediately. That doesn't have sensitive info on it, does it? Okay. Back in we go. Sorry about that. I knew it was Indonesia immediately. We have the poles, and these poles are specifically like the central northern Sulawesi poles. So I figure, okay, we're in central northern Sulawesi. That's helpful. I don't have the arrows here. I was fast moving, and it was a heck of a lot faster than this. But essentially what happened was I got... Dude, this is crazy. I'm going to have to click this because this is so annoying. So I clicked down the road, and I got to this sign here. So, let's see. I found this, and I think it was this sign here that told me the Kabupaten. So this is Kabupaten Banggai Kepulauan, which means Banggai Islands, which is a very small and specific Kabupaten. And also, when I was up here, I was able to see the water. So I can see that there's water in the distance to the north, and I know what the Kabupaten is. So I zoomed into the map. I went here because this Kabupaten is basically just this island. This is the only one with coverage, and I figured, okay, if there's water to the north, we should be around here, probably near this town here. And I was like, it looks like I'm entering a town. So I looked down here, found the intersection where I started, where the road angle fit. Because as you can see, if I do this, there's an intersection to the left. I line up the road. It looks like that. So that was the 5K, and I found that in 45 seconds. Very solid start to the seed. So I moved quickly on to round number 2, which was maybe the easiest one of the seed. I solved this one in 24 seconds. So I loaded into this location. I can see that it's Gen 4 Israel. We have yellow plates on all the cars, striped curbs, etc. And we have a roundabout right here. We have the 60 towards Beersheba, which goes towards the south, and then we have the 60 towards Hebron, which is Hebron and Palestine, and that goes towards the north, and then we have an off-road towards Carmit. So I zoomed into this area. These two cities are pretty close together, and I looked for Carmit. I found it quite easily. It was right here, and then I found the roundabout that goes off to Carmit, and then clicked it. So that all happened in 24 seconds. Fairly easy round. So at this point, I've done 2 rounds in 1 minute and 9 seconds, and I'm thinking this is good. Like, normally my pace after 2 rounds is like, 2 minutes, maybe like 1 minute 30 or 1 minute 40 if I'm lucky. So 1 minute 9 is very, very good. I moved on to round number 3, which was Australia. This one took me the longest, and I was starting to despair here, thinking I wasn't going to find it. We spawned by the Glenelg River. I think Glenelg is the name of like a suburb of Adelaide or something, but I didn't think that was going to help very much. Then we had the Dartmoor Hotel and Motel. So the first thing I did was I moved in this direction towards this Dartmoor thing. So there's a sign off towards Dartmoor, and then a bunch of nonsense. And I didn't really find anything else here. Yeah, like none of this was helpful. So I'm figuring, okay, Dartmoor's like a small town. I don't really know where I am. I might scan South Australia or like Western Victoria, because not only do we have the white car, but also that's kind of where... I figure maybe the suburb of Adelaide is named after the river, right? So let's see, Glenelg. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're in this area down here because it kind of looks like it. So I started scanning here. I scanned for maybe 15 seconds for Dartmoor. I found absolutely nothing. So I went back, and then I moved for about 10 seconds this way across the river. I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is a fairly large river. Maybe I should scan for Glenelg. And then what I found was this guy here. So this tells me that it's 65 kilometers to a city starting with P. So I figured, okay, I'm going to search this area and hope that there's a town starting with P. And I found this Portland on the south coast of Victoria. And I'm like, okay, if we're 65 kilometers from Portland, hopefully, where would we be? I lined up the road angle. This yellow road was the one that made the most sense. I zoomed into it, and lo and behold, Dartmoor was right there. So I clicked on the river, which wasn't exactly the 5K, but it was close enough. And that was round number 3. That one took me 58 seconds, so still pretty fast, honestly, given how much back and forth I ended up having to do, but still the slowest round of the seed. Round number 4, I was pretty happy with. We start on a divided road in Nigeria. I can tell it's Nigeria because of the camera and the driving on the right, etc. So this sign right here says Yaba Abuja, which is super helpful. If that wasn't visible, this round would have been like way, way, way harder. But I figured, okay, I'm probably not going to get much information if I go down the road. And with the camera, I probably won't even be able to read it anyway. So what I did was I immediately zoomed into the map, and I was like, okay, I just need to look for a very large north-south divided road that has a curve to the north, a fairly large off-road to the west, somewhere near Abuja. So I zoomed into Abuja. I looked for a north-south road. This A2 to the south of the city made the most sense, so this was the first place that I scanned. And then I looked for an area that had that road angle and then a curve to the north, and that immediately led me here. And I was like, okay, surely this is the location. So I went ahead and sent it, even though I still don't know what, like, Yaba. I guess Yaba's over here, but anyway, fairly easy round, fairly easy to line up. And at this point, my heart is going crazy. I'm thinking I'm recording, and I'm like, oh my god, the world's gonna see this. So yeah, that's kind of tough. But round number 5 was Indonesia, and it was urban, and I was like, oh my god. When I spawned into this, I was like, oh my god, like, is this actually gonna happen? So we spawn into a very urban round in Indonesia. This says Langsa City. I didn't actually see that, but what I did was I immediately moved to the east because I saw this billboard above the road. Moved over here, and then found that it said Kota Langsa. Wait. I swear it said Kota Langsa. Wait. It definitely said Kota Langsa somewhere. What sign did I look at? Maybe it was this one? Good lord. Oh, there. Okay, so it was this ad, but it was a different piece of coverage. So anyway, it said Kota Langsa on this ad. So I know where Langsa is, given I know all the regencies and cities of Indonesia. So Langsa is in Aceh, so I zoomed immediately into Langsa. then I figured, okay, we're on, as you can see, we're on a divided road, fairly large, and it has this sort of north or west-northwest angle. And then we have a massive park to the southwest, and I was like, okay, I need to just find a park on the main road and click it. So that's what I did. I clicked here, which had a park to the southwest. I figured this would probably be the location. But if it wasn't, I figured it would probably be this, because this could also be like a park area. And there wasn't really anything else that fit. I looked for a little bit, but it was like, these are all buildings, not parks. So I'm going to click at the only place where the road angle lines up and the park lines up. So I clicked it. I was one intersection away. It was good enough for the 5K. And that did it. And this is so... I so regret that this is not in live time. Because, like, I had this... and I played it on the camera, and I didn't have the recording going. And it's the saddest thing ever. Because this is maybe the best game I've ever played. I mean, there was that crazy No Move Russia game that I had a long time ago. But this is... I mean, this is... They're not really comparable, right? I mean, this is a totally different thing. But a perfect score in 3 minutes is just... It's nuts. It's nuts. And I cannot believe I pulled this off. So, yeah. 2 Indonesia, an Israel, a Nigeria, and an Australia. And in total, 3 minutes and 3 seconds for a 25K. Third best all time on a Tweaked World. So, yeah, happy 10,000 subscribers, everyone. I'm really sorry that I couldn't bring you the actual recording of this, but I did my best to explain my thought process. And, yeah, just crazy. So, very fitting that we hit 10K subs and I hit 10K games the next day with this. So, yeah, no better way to celebrate it. So thank you all again for your support. I wouldn't be here without you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, you know, as much as you could. It's unfortunate that it had to be just voiceover afterwards, but such is life. Just trust me, I promise. I promise this is legit. Just one of the craziest games I've ever played. So yeah, thank you all for the support, and I'll see you again very soon.